During the last exercise, we used the tapestry components, but there are many reasons why we might create our own components. So first, a little reminder of what is a component. A component is used to present data and facilitate interaction with the user. We will not rewrite the same thing several times. We will reuse our existing components. They will be configurable through parameters. We have already seen that, for example, with the loop component, which takes a source parameter. To create a component, we must first create the template and the Java class in the components package, then define the parameters of the component and declare them in the Java class. Finally, you have to write the template and implement events and rendering methods. As I said before, the component will be in the components package, the Java class in the SRC main Java and the template in the SRC main resources. Here are some rules to follow to create the Java class. It will be public and will have a constructor without parameters. It will have private settings. And as I said at the beginning of this training, all variables will be reset after each request. A component may contain one or more other components. To declare a parameter, simply declare an attribute with the add parameter annotation. This annotation can take additional parameters as required, indicating that the user must use this parameter when declaring this component in its template. Tapestry performs treatments for you. It will cast the parameters to the type defined in the Java class. It will automatically associate the parameters declared in your template with the attributes of your Java class. It will be possible to use different types of binding to associate your parameters to its value. We have prop, literal, or message binding, for example. The notion of bidirectional parameter makes it possible to associate a property of the component to a variable of the page that will embed the component. For example, if the value of a parameter changes in the component, it will modify the field in the page class. We'll now introduce the default prefix of the add parameter annotation. It will be useful to specify a default binding for your setting. You can use all the bindings already introduced in this training, prop, literal, message. For example, we declare the remove parameter for a component, and we have assigned the literal default prefix. The components template will be identical to the page template. If the Java class of a component extends another component, it will automatically inherit the parent's template if it does not redefine his. The tBody tag will display the content available between the opening and closing tag of the component. Take an example with our decorate component. This component will contain a string. If we look at the implementation, the tBody tag will be replaced by the string. As with the pages, it is possible to implement methods that will be executed during the rendering phase. These phases will be useful to influence the display of the component's body. We have, for example, the begin render, before render template, before render body, or after render body phases. In these methods, we can either return a boolean, which will move to the next phase, or return a component. Return a component will add it to the queue of the components which is rendering as to be processed. In the Java classes of your components, you will be able to use the component resources service, which will give you information of the environment around the component. Indeed, it proposes some methods, for example, getPage to return the page that uses this component, getContainerMessage, return the message catalog for the page that uses the component, getEmbeddedComponent with a subcomponent, isBound help to verify if a parameter has been defined by the developer, and finally, triggerEvent will run the event and propagate it from the component to the page. This mechanism is called the bubbling. We shall see it later. The events that you create in your components will be propagated from the component to the page until an answer is given. Indeed, depending on the value returned by a method that will catch the event, the bubbling will stop or continue. If the answer is void, null, or false, the event will continue, otherwise the event will stop. Finally, a small slide about the inherit prefix that will be useful to pass parameter to a component. This prefix will reuse a parameter of a component for one of its subcomponents. For example, with the bin init form, which uses the bin editor component, Tapestry uses the inherit prefix in the bin init form template in order to indicate the bin editor reorder parameter will be identical to the value indicated in the bin edit form declaration.